You know, one thing I really liked when I was a kid was coming home and watching cartoons. What about you? You still watch cartoons?
Yeah, I do.
Really?
Yep.
Well, anyway, I don't know. I kind of like some of the older cartoons and stuff, but God, some of the newer cartoons today, they suck.
You know what? I agree with you. That's something we don't agree on a lot, but we're actually agreeing on something.
Oh my God.
The new cartoons actually do suck.
I'm really kind of anxious to see what your list is.
Me too.
This is emo/stoner boy.
And this is the faggot.
Yeah, this is our top 10 cartoons list.
And for the first time, it's old versus old.
And the Masters of the Universe.
Number 5, He-Man. Now, yeah, I know, like, nowadays this show is considered uncool. I mean, Adam looks like a fag. I mean, look at that. He has, like, pink on. I don't know what's up with that getup. But as a kid, I loved this show. I guess it's nostalgia talking, but I would always watch this show, collect all the toys. I even loved the movie. Nowadays, yeah, it's not as good as an adult, but it's still fun to watch to see why I liked it as a kid. But we'll say one thing, though. Skeletor is still awesome.
You're a fool if you think you can stop me. Hey, Patrick, what am I now?
Stupid?
No, I'm Texas.
What's the difference?
Number 5, SpongeBob SquarePants. Ah yes, this 1999 Nickelodeon TV show has surprisingly sparked a bit of controversy. Whether it be the sexual innuendos or the possible homosexuality of SpongeBob, it still remains a pretty good show. During its prime, some 10 years ago, it was phenomenal, hilarious, and comedic. Now, it sucks. But it's still a great nostalgic show to watch now from time to time.
No, this is Patrick.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is Patrick.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No, this is Patrick. I am not a Krusty Krab.
Patrick, that's the name of the restaurant.
Number 4, Looney Tunes. Who doesn't like Looney Tunes? I mean, come on. Why wouldn't it be on anyone's list? I grew up with the Looney Tunes. I'm sure you grew up with the Looney Tunes. There's really not much to say. Looney Tunes is freaking classic. I don't think I have to say much about this one.
You know, sometimes me conscience kind of bothers me. But not this time.
Number 4, Ed, Edd and Eddy. Another 11-year running show that has some innuendos in it too. It's a pretty simple plot. 3 adolescents named Ed try to make money and live in a cul-de-sac. It was one of those shows that never showed parents back in the day. I loved the show as a kid, and it's still pretty funny and interesting to watch now. Check it out. You'll probably assume the creators are borderline retarded.
Hey, Jughead! Over here! Whoa! Ho, ho. I am turning into a werewolf, Eddie!
Number 3, Ren and Stimpy. If you grew up in the 90s, I guess you can say that you've watched at least a couple episodes of Ren and Stimpy. I own them all on the DVD, and yeah, they've grown down in quality. But man, I sure love the funny faces that they made, and the first season is stellar. And I don't know, I'm sure if they made a revival, but like Beavis and Butthead did, I'm sure it will be just as good, if not better.
I offer records covered in bubble gum.
Number 3, Naruto. Now, there are several animated shows that I could have went with, like Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball GT and whatnot, but Naruto had a bigger effect on me as a child. A long-running series follows Naruto, an adolescent young ninja whose dream is to become Hokage, the leader of his village. US TV ruined the comedy and much darkness to the show that was shown a lot in Japan, but I still love it nonetheless.
Number 2, Animaniacs. Every time I came home from school, I would couldn't wait for this show to come on. It came on after Tiny Toons, and this show was, even to this day, it is good quality cartoon. They don't make cartoons like that anymore. But I must admit, the only ones I really liked was Yakko and Wacko and Dot and Pinky and the Brain, and well, that's it. I mean, who cares about Goodfellas and Slappy the Squirrel and all that? I want to see Yakko, Warner, and Dot, but it's still a great show. I mean, all the other stuff is passable, but Animaniacs was... I wish they'd make shows like that now.
I had to get rid of the clown. Yo, it's...
Number 2, Billy and Mandy. In my opinion, this is one of the last great shows aired by Cartoon Network before, just before it got terrible. For a show involving grotesque humor and a lot of black comedy, it's still freaking hilarious. The Grim Reaper lost a bet and is forced to live with Billy and Mandy and be best friends forever. Their adventures never cease to get me laughing and can still rupture a chuckle out of me from time to time.
Number 1, DuckTales. Speaking of shows they don't make anymore, DuckTales was one of those shows that I watched where it seems to cater for adults and kids, but also, I don't know, I did not want to see Scrooge McDuck lose that money. Every time he's in a bad situation, I always rooted for him to get out of there. It was one of those shows where he can get into some pretty bad situations and you wonder how he would get out, and that's what made the show fun. DuckTales and even the Nintendo game was freaking awesome. It was the best part of my childhood, better than any other cartoons that I've watched back then. DuckTales, freaking stellar, dude.
South Park. Yes, the most politically incorrect show of all time happens to be my favorite cartoon. It blows away the likes of Family Guy and The Simpsons. I was gonna put those maybe in my list too, but they're too closely related, so I had to go with South Park instead. There isn't much I need to say about this show. Actually, if you want to, it'd be pretty fun to watch one of these backstories about how they make South Park. They make it a week before the cutoff line, and it's pretty phenomenal how they do it. But anyway, here's a funny clip.
Retard baby, which was a monkey fish frog, and then this monkey fish frog had butt sex with that monkey, and that monkey had a mutant retard baby that screwed another monkey, and that made you.
Anyway, that was our top 10 cartoons list. Once again, of course mine's better, but it always is.
God, you are so full of shit, you know that?
You know what? Fuck you, man. You know what? I'm tired of this shit. I'm going back in and I'm drinking. You know what? Anyway, that's our top 10 cartoons list. This is Emo Boy, the guy that needs to get a haircut.
This is the faggot.
Anyway, and I'm going to go and get myself more to drink. Get the hell away from me. Go away.